Okay, so we are back. It's been quite hard to stick to the schedule given my tedious traveling schedule, but I'm happy to continue soldiering on. This is again, we're studying right now Shara Bitachon, the Gate of Confidence. It's part of a greater book called The Duty, the Obligations of the Heart, written by Rabbi ibn Pekuda. And this book discusses the ultimate confidence in God. And we spoke last time about the different things that we look for before trusting people, or what creates a sense of confidence in people or in anything. What creates that sense of confidence? So we spoke about five different things, and now we are discussing how those different aspects of confidence are expressed in God. Actually, we spoke about seven different things. Um, okay, so basically, if we ran through the seven different things fairly quickly, right? It is that first is that we have to really believe that that person really wants to do the best for us. They actually really care and empathize with us. And the second thing is that their care for us is also something that will create a call for action. So even when things are difficult, that person's going to jump up and put in the effort, right, to really take care of our interests. And third is that if that person gets up and puts his effort in, is that he's strong and resilient enough to actually fulfill his responsibility that we're trusting him with. The fourth thing is he will know uh, what we actually really want. So sometimes there might be a vague thing that we're not sure about, or wasn't agreed upon, or wasn't something that we asked from them to do in terms of the assignment, but that he will act in good faith to take care of our interests, even if it's not explicit. Okay, and also when whether and that he's fully aware of what those interests are and how that will manifest. And the fifth thing is the more we know the person. So if we know the person from a young age, there will be a tendency to give us more confidence because he knows us, and he has a history with us, so that that he will take care of our considerations. Okay, and we also could trust his behaviors in the past, right? The sixth thing is that that person has the authority, right, to carry out his responsibility, and so he's not prone to a third party over like undermining him. And the seventh thing is that it will be done graciously and with joy, and will be something that even when he is not responsible to fulfill a duty, he'll still go beyond measure, right, to actually take care of our concerns. And now, in this chapter, after summarizing that, in this chapter, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how all these seven different elements get manifest when our trust in God, and why only God could actually fulfill on these different, we'll say, essential components that will cause us or can give us trust towards something. So we spoke about two. We spoke about two of them, and now we're up to the third. You guys want to look at the previous video to understand the other two. והשלישי, כי הבורא יתברך חזק מכל חזק ודברו נגזר מכל דבר. ואם משיב דינו, כמו שנאמר כל אשר חפץ השם עשה ואמר, כן יהיה דברי אשר יצא מפי, לא ישוב אלי ריקם, כי אם עשה את אשר חפצתי. So the third thing is that God is strong and more resilient than anything, right? He is the strongest. And so we don't have to be concerned of any other thing overpowering God, and that there can't be anything that we could trust God that's not in God's capability to deliver to us. And so they give here a quote from Psalms: anything that God wills, He does. From Isaiah, he says, so will be what I say, and nothing that comes out of my mouth will ever come back empty or unfulfilled, right? But only if it will fulfill but that it will fulfill my will, So basically, the concept is that God has the power to do whatever He wants, right? And so, because He's all powerful, He can actually execute what we need and what we're relying on Him from. So, from that element, we can have confidence in God. The fourth thing is that He supervises the behaviors of people, and He doesn't let them alone. ולא יסתר ממנו דבר מהם מקטנם והגדולם. And so God doesn't avoid to turn a blind eye, right, to people, and He knows their needs from small to great. ולהשכיחהו דבר לדבר, כמו שכתוב, למה תאמר יעקב תדבר ישראל, נסתרה דרכי מהשם אלוקיי, משפטי יעבור. ואמר, הלא ידעת אם לא שמעת אלוקי העולם, Hashem borek tzot haaretz lo yaf lo yiga in cheker litvunato. So basically, they bring here a few quotes that emphasizes God's inherent, right, intrinsic understanding of who we are, what we're doing, right, what we want. Whether these are hidden needs that we have or actual needs, right, we can't hide anything from God. God just knows what we need, right? The fifth thing is that a person, right, or a creation, right, can't do anything, okay, damage or benefit someone else, only with God's permission and will, right? He gives an example that a person who is under the constraints of a master, okay, we're talking about like servants and masters, an analogy many times given in our relationship with God, right? A servant that has two masters, one master's unhappy, then he's in trouble. Over here, given there's just one master, you're just under one authority, and that authority can have full control over your needs, right? And your safety and your well-being. So also, if you have two masters, you're always hoping one will benefit you, right? So you're scared, you're not sure who's going to benefit you or who's going to hurt you. And if there's two masters, who do you give more confidence to? The one that's more kind to you, usually, right? אם אחד מהם אף יכולתו יותר משאריתם, יחוזק ביטחונו בו כפי יכולתו, אף על פי שהוא פתח בשאריתם, ואם לא יוכל להועילו, להזיקו כי אם אחד מהם בלבד. על כוחו יבטח עליו לבדו, מפני שאינו מקווה תועלת מזולתו, וכן כשירגיש שהאדם שלו ילנו ולא יזיקנו אחד מהנבראים. אלה ברשות הבורא יתברך. קשוב ליבו מיראתו ותקוותם, ויבטח על הבורא לבדו, כמו שנאמר, אל תבטחו בנדיבים בבן אדם שאין לו תשועה. So he gives an example. When there's two masters, when someone feels like he could entrust two people for the same thing, right? And he sees that one consistently delivers and the other one doesn't. So that person's tendency is to start giving more trust to the master that delivers, that's taking care of him, and so forth. And he says the same thing here with people. People tend to give and trust other creations, other God's creations, with responsibilities. But the fact is that God is the only thing that you could actually rely on, right? And the more you recognize how God is benefiting you in your life, the more you will rely fully on God versus giving your confidence or trust and trusting someone else. Hashishi, the sixth thing that causes, right, that God stands out in terms of the components of trust, בו מרוב החסד והטובה בלי שיהיה ראוי אצלו לכך, ולא לצורך שיהיה אליו, אך נדבה וטובה וחסד, כאשר בארנו בשער הבחינה מן הספר הזה. וכמו שאמר דוד עליו השלום, רבות עשית אתה השם אלוקיי, נפלאותיך ומחשבותיך, אלינו אין ארוך אליך, אגידה ואדברה, עצמו מספר. אז השישי, the sixth thing is, that a person should know the greatness of God, okay, over man, so that how great God is to man, and that a person from his essence didn't do anything to live, right? God just gave him life, right? And internal graciousness, right? And kindness. He just he gave him life. Waking up in the morning, you're able to breathe, right? God just gives that to you. Even though you might be deserving of it or not deserving of it, right? Probably undeserving of it, right? Because you didn't do anything to get it. You just default, you received life, right? Even though you're undeserving sometimes. It's not something for God, but he just wants to give because God is gracious, he's kind. So you can see that God gives us so many good things for free, right? And just out of total pure abundance. And this is a wrap for today.